What a wonderful day it is, especially when I have the opportunity to talk with one of my very favorite pastors, one of my very favorite people, Dr. Jim Cock. I'll tell you, our founding pastor, Dr. Robert H. Schuller, said about Jim, and I'm going to quote this: "All of my life as a pastor, I have dreamed and worked for followers of Jesus to be the nicest people, and no one speaks more sincerely on the subject than my beloved friend, Jim Cock. He has had a career devoted to care and hurting people and to train others to practice acts of kindness. He's written 6 books, and this morning we're going to talk about his latest. This happens to be The Miracle of Kindness, Changing the World One Act at a Time. Please welcome Dr. James Cock." Always good to see you, Jim. Go ahead and give me the answers to the first 3 questions people always ask.
Fine, yes, and 6'6".
Okay, and the questions that usually go with it?
How's the weather up there? How tall are you? Did you play basketball?
You did play basketball. Where did you play basketball?
Calvin College, Grand Rapids, Michigan.
How was the team?
We were better than hope.
I can't counter that. Too bad we don't have Dr. Schuller here to counter that.
We won 3 championships.
Okay, this wonderful new book of yours, talk about it and what it's about.
Well, this is a message for everybody, especially Christians, but really for everybody. And really, the message is that you are such beautiful, wonderful, good people. You are such precious people. The love of Jesus lives in you. Whether you've never been in church before or not, it is still true. The love of Jesus lives in you. And what we need to do more of is to let that out. Everywhere we go, it is so simple. It is so needed. Everybody can do it. It can be just a smile or a tap on the back, or it can be something big like visiting somebody in the hospital. But everybody must know that God is love, and love is God, and God is in them. And when they do even a simple act of kindness, they are giving God to people. And we all know from our own experience how healing just a word of encouragement can be. And we all need to do more of it because it's possible and it's needed.
When you first came to our church in 1984, you were concentrating on what your normal pastor duties would be. But what made you decide to go more into the loving care and kindness end of your blessings for people, frankly?
Well, when I got here, I realized that I couldn't do it alone. I had been a hospital chaplain, and I'd done a lot of one-to-one stuff, but I realized we had so many people. But in the process, I realized we all have so much to offer, and we are all the walking wounded. We all need it from each other, and we all have something to give. And so it's a process of realizing that that's our task as people, to care and love and lift and encourage people.
And now you've reached out way beyond just the Crystal Cathedral in our area here in Orange County. Talk about the Care and Kindness seminars that are taking place.
Well, we started the Care and Kindness Conference here about 15 years ago, and we are now making ourselves available anywhere that someone wants to have a conference. We have a foundation that's trying to support us, and so we are encouraging churches. I just came from Noblesville, Indiana, a Presbyterian church there. They had a weekend conference, and I went and was one of the primary speakers because we really want this to be what Christianity is about. We kind of emphasize that we're here to get people to heaven, and I'm happy for that. But Jesus' mission was to make heaven on earth, I think. When he said, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven," I think he was telling us his mission, and he's giving us our mission. And this world is so wonderful. This country and Canada and some of the other countries that hear this message, they are such wonderful places, mostly because of the love of God, the instrumentality of God. You take a place like this. I don't remember the name of the architect, but he was an instrument of God. This fabulous organ, it was made by an instrument of God. And we need to love and honor those people. No matter what their faith might be, they are instruments of God.
Who should attend these conferences, and what actually goes on? How does it work?
Well, they are conferences. We have workshops on everything from grief to alcohol problems and how to be a better listener. And then we also try to inspire them to be giving and doing more and more. You know, this great music we just had, what is it good for? Well, one of the chapters of the book is, it's Sunday, but Monday is coming.
Yeah.
That music is healing. It has healed us. Why? So that we can be out there tomorrow, loving, caring, working, producing more to make this world a better place. So that's why we come to church. It's Sunday because Monday is coming. Not just to soak in this. We got to use it.
Yeah. Well, you've got the miracle of kindness we're talking about, and there are a number of miracles that you reference in here. Talk about one that might be your favorite.
Well, my favorite happens to be one of the guys is Don Heinlein. He's sitting right down front. Some friends urged him to come here to the Home Builder Sunday School class. And he and his wife's lives were changed by their goodness, their kindness, their friendliness, their love. Right, Don? And he's here today. But that's one of the magnificent stories. But there's all those little ones, too. The Care and Kindness Conference got stimulated in me when I heard a story from one of our committee members. She came up to me and she said she'd been waiting in the car and somebody knocked at her window. And she opened the window and there was another woman. This woman said, "Thank you for smiling at me when I drove in. I've been so discouraged today, and your smile just lifted me and healed me." That's one of my favorites because it was so big in my life.
How can folks here and those watching, how can they put this to practice?
Well, I think everywhere we go, you go to Walgreens or Ralph's or something, people are around you, you notice people and you say something to them. You notice what they're wearing, you notice their hair, you say you're looking good. You give little compliments. That's the simplest way, and it's everywhere, and it's so available, and it's so possible. So it's something we as Christians need to be doing all the time to show the world that God is love, because that is love, and that is, you're giving love, you're giving God to people, and that is so important and so necessary. We have to be special, and it's so easy to be that special.
Is there something you want to add before we wind this up?
Well, this Care and Kindness Committee has a plan. They are going to honor a dozen people who've been wonderful helpers here. And we're having on October 13, and we need you to come. We're going to have a big celebration appreciation banquet for people who've been ushering for 40 years, who've been tour guides for 30 years. One man, he's been out in the parking lot for 40 years. We are going to honor them and appreciate them and celebrate them. And so that's called the Celebration Banquet on October 13. Please come. We need you. We need to pay the bills, $25 each.
I'll tell you, you've made a big difference in a lot of lives, not only here, but around this great nation of ours. And he's going to be available after the service over in the Welcoming Center. If you'd like to stop over and meet Jim, also get a copy of his book, have him sign it for you. He'd love to do so, and you can stand and ask him those same 3 questions. Okay? Feel free to do so. Jim, God loves you, and so do I. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.